What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna be doing a review. You guys have requested this one for kind of a while now, and y'all requested some more of the PDM fragrances on the Decant website. So I picked this guy up. This is Layton. This is the OG. So this was released in 2016. Yes, we'll unbox it, we'll review it. You guys know how I feel about it, but I'll kind of reiterate how I feel about it and when I think it would be good to use, blah, blah, blah. Is it worth the price? Because this is not a cheap fragrance, right? All right, so I just looked it up how much it goes for on Joma Shop. I paid $342 for this. That's crazy. Okay, but hey, it's a business expense, right? It's going up on the Decant website. If you guys are interested in picking up a sample of it without buying it for $342 freaking dollars, make sure you like it, or maybe just get a little bit of it for special occasions. You'll find it on decantworld.com. There we go. Video sponsored by me. So that's kind of fun. Anyway, Layton. Yeah, let's talk about it. Enough of me yapping. Presentation is pretty mid. It says Eau de Parfum. This is 125 mils, so it's not a 100 mil. And then it just sort of has a basic Parfums de Marly insignia embossed on the front of it. So really nothing special. We just reviewed, as you can tell, I'm still wearing that, you know, the Magnum PI shirt, right? I just reviewed earlier the 1861 Naxos fragrance, which is cheaper and way better presentation, and in my opinion, a better fragrance, but that's for another time. So here is the bottle itself, okay? And then it tells you the little history about Parfums de Marly, all that stuff. So yeah, PDM, it's all in the glass here, right? It says 1743 with the prancing horses, Parfums de Marly Paris. And then of course it has the famous, you know, 10,000 pound Parfums de Marly cap here, solid metal. It's gonna break my countertop here. So yeah, metal collar, metal atomizer. It better be for that price, right? I'll give it a spray here. Boom. Good atomizer, good atomizer. I'm not gonna complain. You know what? I'm not gonna complain. That's a good atomizer. And immediately we're hit with the smell. It is moderate to strong, okay? I'm very familiar with this fragrance. I've owned samples of this for a while now, and I've worn it plenty of times. Longevity is good. Performance is good. You know, so the one thing that I will say about PDM, I'm not a PDM fanboy, but they do have good performance, and most of the scents are pretty good. I think Altair is a little bit overhyped, and I think that Layton is a little bit overhyped. So let's talk about the notes here. This was made by Hamid Marathi Kashani. So yeah, I'm probably killing the name there, but he did a bunch of the PDM ones. He did some of the Goldfield and Banks ones. He did Calle Ocho, actually, by Fulton and Ruark, which was one of my first fragrances that was like sent to me ever on this channel, back when I had like 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, he's got some good stuff behind his belt. He's not super famous. Top notes: apple, lavender, bergamot, mandarin orange, okay? So kind of bright, fruity. You definitely get the apple, you get the lavender, okay? Middle notes: geranium, violet, and jasmine. A little bit more old school. Geranium you don't usually see these days anymore, but it is good as a masculine floral. Same with jasmine. Those can be very good masculine florals. Another thing that people are leaning towards these days as far as masculine florals is gonna be magnolia. My perfumers on the channel look into magnolia, okay? It's mostly citrus, that's the secret. So base notes: vanilla, cardamom, sandalwood, pepper, geoc wood, and patchouli. So very masculine, spicy, sandalwood, the cardamom, the vanilla. You get the cardamom for sure. You get the pepper. You get the patchouli, kind of that earthiness, the dirtiness from the patchouli. It adds depth to it, it adds balance. Geoc wood is a smoky wood. It's not very resinous, it's mostly just smoky. The main constituent of it that gives it that smell is called guaiacol, geoc, and it's very strong and very powerful and very smoky. Okay, overall, it is a good fragrance. It is an 8.5 in my opinion. Some people are like, oh my God, 9.9, you know, oh, best fragrance ever, PDM. It's heavy and it's expensive, so it must be a good fragrance. It is a good fragrance. I'm not being that guy. Do I think it's worthy of the price point? 100% no. So yeah, even though I'm the guy that is putting this on I'm selling samples of this, I'm gonna say it's probably not worth the price. That's up for you to decide, right? No problem. But to me, it smells slightly medicinal, and I'm not sure what fragrance ingredient they're using that gives it that medicinal aspect to it. I was thinking originally that it had to have been one of those synthetic saffron notes, specifically saffronol, not specifically saffroline, not saffronol. Sometimes that gives a medicinal sort of a smell, but I think right now I'm thinking it's a mixture of whatever they're using for the apple and whatever they're using for the lavender. It's combining in this weird way that makes it smell like older, like cough syrup, or like a dated fragrance, or like a grandpa type smell. And I don't mean that in a rude way at all, but yeah, kind of a medicinal sort of a smell that is associated with older folks. That's my opinion. 8.5. Presentation is decent. 8 out of 10. Good bottle, good cap, all that stuff. I would have expected more out of the box, but really this is the only thing that you're keeping, so no big deal. That's why it's still an 8 out of 10. Overall, I probably wouldn't recommend you to buy this just because of the price point. If you don't mind and you're trying to get into some of the niche ones, hey, PDM Marley is kind of one of those ones that you gotta smell at some point or another. Anyway, links in the description to probably Joma Shop is gonna be your best bet, but maybe if it's cheaper on FragranceNet, I'll throw a link to FragranceNet, whichever will save you guys the most money, and then of course my Decant website as well. So yeah, as far as when you could wear this, I'm gonna say spring, fall, winter, just because it is kind of more warm, spicy. You know, this is gonna be something, especially because of the price point, you're gonna wanna reserve it for maybe date nights, or when you're you know, entertaining guests or something and you wanna put on something a little fancier. I wouldn't wear this as a daily driver unless you're Jeff Bezos. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. This is more than like Creed Aventus by a decent margin. So you could buy Creed Aventus, and you could buy, if you're buying testers, you could buy a Creed Aventus tester and a Green Irish Tweed tester for less than one bottle of this. But that's just my 2 cents. Thanks for watching as always. See y'all in the next one.